Secretary of State John Kerry speaking just moments ago about the talks on Iran's nuclear program. The United States and 5 other nations continue to hammer out the details of a final agreement, but Secretary Kerry saying they are not there yet. Joining us from the site of the talks in Vienna is host of MSNBC's Andrea Mitchell Reports and NBC News chief foreign affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell. Andrea, you've been watching all of these days. We're on day number 9 now. This is a record number of days. Secretary Kerry coming to the microphone with crutches and a hoarse voice, it appeared. What did you see from the comments that he had made?
Well, he is saying what we're being told privately, that while progress has been made, he agrees with Foreign Minister Zarif, who put out a YouTube video saying they're closer than ever before. They've been doing this for 20 months. And we've been all covering this on and off for 20 months as they go in and out of these rounds, elevated from the technical staff to every couple of months the foreign ministers themselves meeting. And he says, yes, they're close. They did make a lot of progress. But when the other ministers arrive tonight, it will remain to be seen whether there is absolute intransigence, in which case he said the U.S. is prepared, as the president said, to walk away from this deal. Or if they are making good progress, they will see whether they go past Tuesday, which would be blowing past yet another deadline, Richard.
Andrea, he also said that there were still several issues, sticking points, that they were very crucial. Do we have any indication in terms of what those might be?
Yes, indeed. We've been reporting, and it's very clear that they have, while a tentative agreement at the staff level, a draft agreement on lifting U.S. and European sanctions, Richard. They have not yet agreed on how to reimpose or snap back the UN sanctions without another vote by the UN Security Council. They're trying to do that so that it's automatic if something were to happen and Iran did not live up to its obligations. That is very important to the U.S. Secondly, they still have not agreed on access for UN inspectors to all of the special sites that Iran might have shut down or have closed off from the UN inspection teams. That's very important. And what they call transparency, that is an explanation from Iran to the UN nuclear agency about past suspicious or suspect possible military dimensions to its nuclear program over the past years. And finally, what and how and when will Iran resume advanced nuclear research at the tail end of this deal at different locations 10 and 15 years from now? As you can imagine, I'm just giving you the bullet points. The details of all of this are highly complex. They're being negotiated by 2 nuclear physicists, the head of Iran's nuclear atomic agency and also our energy secretary, Ernest Moniz, both nuclear physicists trained at MIT. That's far more complicated than anything that I could deal with or you could deal with. But trust me on this, they're going to end up with hundreds and hundreds of very technical pages here if this all comes together. And the next deadline is Tuesday.
Tuesday, with all that complexity. Andrea Mitchell, thank you so much for that detail, really giving us a sense of why this is taking so much time and what's going on behind those closed doors. Andrea Mitchell, thank you. Live in Vienna right now, 6:11 p.m. local time, 5:11 p.m. local time, excuse me. Now let's bring in Richard Nephew, fellow at the Columbia University Center on Global Energy Policy. Richard, we just heard from Andrea Mitchell. She was giving us a sense of it is as wide as it is deep. You are also an expert in nuclear proliferation. They have some physicists there. Is this typical throughout the last 20 months that she's talking about?
Well, it's definitely typical at the expert level. I think the idea that you're bringing, though, the head of the Iranian Atomic Energy Agency and the head of the American Atomic Energy Agency is unique. And I think that describes both the sensitivity of these issues from a technical perspective and the political sensitivity on both sides.
Let's say we're just stopping in. We just got the report from Kerry. Andrea, you now. How would you summarize why this is so important based on where we're at in the process?
Well, basically, I would say this. First, for the Iranians, they are still trying to get some kind of understanding of when sanctions are going to come off and get confidence that they will come off. It would be very politically dangerous for Rouhani to agree to any kind of deal without that locked down. For the Americans and the rest of the group, it's very imperative to get understanding of access and transparency to both Iran's declared nuclear sites and any potential secret sites they may build.
So you were working with Secretary Kerry up until January, as we were mentioning earlier. How might this be compared with or compared to the North Korean complexities, which have gone on forever as well, with no outcome?
Well, I would say that this is actually somewhat more complex from the standpoint of involving not only the nuclear issue and nuclear issues both uranium and plutonium based, which are completely different technologies and concerns.
Right. They are, yeah.
But also dealing with the kinds of sanctions that are in place. Back in the North Korea case, you didn't have a very large U.S. unilateral sanctions involving oil. At the same time, you had UN sanctions, European Union sanctions. You just didn't have that. So the complexity of all the different moving pieces, I think, is much higher in the Iran negotiations.
Because in the Iran negotiations, you have the UN issues, which are an entire hill there. You got the Eurozone issues, EU issues, and then you have the U.S. issues.
That's right.
And you did not have that with North Korea.
That's right. That's right. And again, you've also got the issue that, unlike North Korea, which wasn't part of the non-proliferation regime prior to the negotiations, Iran has been for 30 years. So it's far more damaging that Iran's been cheating than, frankly, even North Korea.
Number of people working on this really quickly?
Easily. On the U.S. side, 500, 600, in terms of both the people on the ground negotiating, but all the backstop of sanctions experts and nuclear experts.
500 to 600. Richard Nephew, thank you so much.